If you're a new maintenance warrant officer stepping into a maintenance seat, this video can save you months of frustration. We recently sat down and had a real conversation about what actually matters when you take the seat. Not theories, not buzzwords, and not things you figure out the hard way after 6 months. These are 5 things we wish someone had sat us down and explained on day one: systems, battle rhythms, communication, confidence, consistency. Miss these and you'll feel overwhelmed no matter how capable you are. Getting them right, you'll walk into the seat with clarity instead of chaos. This isn't about fixing everything immediately, it's about understanding what deserves your attention first. Let's get into it. Got a brand new warrant officer to the seat. Just got in there yesterday, right?
Yes, Chief.
Yeah, he just got in there yesterday. He was part of that pilot program where our Sergeant First classes could come in, and if they qualify, as soon as they graduate, they wear the rank of a Warrant Officer 2, CW2.
Congrats. Awesome.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. And I told him, he reached out to me just to ask, hey, what's going on as a new warrant officer? Like, what are the things he should be looking at? And I was like, I got to bring in someone in this conversation because we just talked about this earlier today about the 5 things, I wish somebody would have told me specifically on, get going when it comes to maintenance. And we talked a little bit about systems already and how important systems are. And then now he's in a position where if he doesn't see a system that he could implement it in place and to walk with confidence, because, at the end of the day, no one's going to give much pushback if Chief says, hey, we need to do this or we need to add this to our daily operations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just to touch on, if there is not a system in place, I would venture to say that, capture the process, right? What does that process look like? And is that process effective? You ask yourself that. Yes, it is effective. All right, great. Now step back and then say, is this process effective and efficient? If those 2 words are not married, then you have definitely found room for improvement. And so, when James is talking about a system, the system itself is developed by the process, right? And so you have to constantly refine that process, but understand that, what does that look like? Why have they done it this way? Don't accept this is how it's always been done, or this is how we do it, Chief, or whatever the case may be, right? Is it a broken process? Is it an outdated process? Is it effective, but there's a more efficient way to do it? Then you do that, right? And you slowly implement that change. I mean, that's what I would say in terms of the system.
Yeah, like bringing that up where it's always been like that. I don't like that. It's like it's kind of bad way to think that way. It's like it's always been like that. I don't like it. It's like what is right?
That should be, and that's good. That's a pet peeve of yours. And you're gonna being new to an organization, when you go around and you start asking questions, that's what you're gonna hear. And that's good that you're gonna squash it right away, because you can't let that cancer attitude keep spreading, because then they're gonna think that's okay. They're gonna be like, well, Chief thinks it's okay, so I'm gonna keep on doing it, So that's good. You nipped it in the butt. And then Mike, we talked definitely about battle rhythms, building those weekly events to ensure that the systems that we did set in place are being maintained. When it comes to, hey, I have a weekly maintenance meeting with the company, and I have a weekly maintenance meeting, with the brigade, so on and so forth, to ensuring that what we set up is gonna stand, because ain't nothing more worse than trying to say shoot from the hip. Super annoying. Nobody likes that at all.
Yeah. Yep.
No, for sure. For me, right, I would say you're brand new in the seat. You don't want to come in guns blazing, right? My tidbit of knowledge that I can share with you is sit back for 30 days and do a full assessment.
So
Now take that with an advisory note that if you see something that's wrong, morally, ethically, or legally wrong, then don't sit back for 30 days, right? Absolutely address that right off the back. And if it hurts some feelings, hey, that's okay. But, look again, do a thorough assessment of those systems and then, okay, what works, what doesn't work, and then you start slowly making changes to that battle rhythm. And then once you've established that battle rhythm, now that's not Chief driving the truck anymore. That's Chief set the guide for the organization and provided a tool for punctuality, right? So that's really what that is. Do your assessment and provide that tool for punctuality, because what you want to do is you want to drive that change towards the better. And again, not every organization is bad and you don't need to change it. But if the process is good and the system is good, hey, now start looking at ways to refine it. And that's how you'll build your battle rhythm.
Absolutely. And you're gonna get some resistance and pushback, because you're gonna have those old timers who've been there for a while, who, again, this is how it's always been done. Oh, I'm not gonna change that. And you're gonna have those, just in general, you're gonna have those folks who don't like change either. Who's like, oh, I don't know about that. And when you go out there and you are implementing change, I encourage you to express the why behind change. Hey, this is why we're doing it. We used to do it like this, and it wasn't as efficient. And if we change it this way, it's going to be productive and efficient. So definitely have that. And the next one we always talk about is really big on daily communication. It's important to have that communication and be clear with your communication. Don't ever assume. I've gotten burned myself, and Mike is the same way. I've gotten burned so many times when we assume, or we gave guidance and it was very vague guidance. Hey, go conduct maintenance. And then, we come back in the afternoon, you're like, nothing got done. Well, you just say go conduct maintenance. That could mean just go stand next to the vehicle. So when you give that guidance, or you give direction, make sure you communicate and articulate yourself well, to eliminate any gray areas or any what ifs or assumptions, because assuming is the weakest form of communication, and you don't want that. You want to be clear, you want to be spot on, and you want to be knowing that the guidance you gave, when you come back, that task got done and there was no wiggle room for error. Mike, I don't know if you got anything on yourself or an experience that you kind of faced where assumption burned you.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, James hit everything on the head. The only thing I will add to that is over communication is better than no communication, right? And then, I'll share an experience. I was a young sergeant, right? Brand new into a leadership role, and I was very gung ho, and I got put into a awesome leadership position, and I told some soldiers, hey, go out there and sweep the hangar, and they did. And then I went, I called the platoon sergeant and said, hey, we're good to go. And platoon sergeant comes out here and he's like, man, they swept the heck out of the hangar. They did a great job. I mean, they sprayed it down with water and they made it shine. And the platoon sergeant says, well, what the hell happened? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, there's piles everywhere. So I go back to the soldiers and I say, hey, I told you guys to sweep the hangar. And they're like, well, we did, sergeant. And I was like, well, what happened with the piles? Hey, sergeant, you told us to sweep the hangar. We didn't know that we had to pick them up too. Right. And so that was an implied task. If you sweep something, you pick it up. Right. But I thought that they understood that and they knew that. So I didn't check on them. And that right there, it got, it burnt me. Right. And it was like, damn. And that stuck with me ever since. Right. Because you don't know what they know. You don't know what they don't know. And so, again, over communication, what needs to get done, how it needs to get done, and when it needs to get done by is the best way to live by. So that's my little story.
Yeah.
The struggle for you is being in your seat in your area is, you're going to tell them to go pick up parts and you're going to walk away, and then you're going to come back and either A, no parts got picked up, or B, there's still parts on the truck, because one, either they didn't coordinate to go pick up the parts with the driver, with the TC, with the truck and dispatching. And then two, if they did pick up parts, they're going to leave it on the truck because they're going to be like, well, you didn't tell me to put it away. Like, it's an implied task. Like, man, so you got to be clear, and not only to the soldiers, but also, again, you being in this position now, you're going to have the ear of the lieutenants, you're going to have the ear of the commanders, and the ear of the first sergeant and the sergeant major, and so on. So you have to be clear when you communicate. Don't be very vague in your guidance or in your recommendation. You're the subject matter expert now. So what you say goes. So if you recommend that every vehicle be pointed to the east, they're going to be like, Chief said every vehicle needs to be pointed to the east. So that's that. And you have to keep that in mind when you communicate. which
Yeah.
leads into, you know, confidence. Just like any new organization, any brand new private, like you could tell that they're new when they're timid. You know, you don't want to, not saying that you are a brand new private, but you don't want to walk into a building, you don't want to walk into a meeting, you don't want to walk into any type of atmosphere where they're going to smell that you are not confident in yourself and in your decisions and in your verbal communication. You want to walk in with, obviously, with the attitude that you are meant to be there. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome. You had that pilot program and you got selected. Great, kudos, respect that. They don't know that, so they're going to look at you that you're a well-seasoned CW2 who might be getting promoted next week. So wear it like that. They don't know that. You know,
Yeah.
confidence is super important. I know myself, I could, when someone walks into the room, you know, automatically in our brains, we assess, we do it subconsciously, but we observe and see how that person acts and carry themselves. And that matters. So when
Yeah.
you walk into a room, be sure, you know, you walk in proud and confident. Like, you know, you got that on your chest for a reason, you know.
Yeah.
Don't be that fresh meat that they smell. And next thing you know,
No,
once you
can't
start
be.
smelling that fresh meat, they start picking you apart. What I use is when I'm hosting a meeting and people start using shoulds and maybes, oh, it's a wrap. Should. Okay. That's what it maybe should work. Like, what are we talking about here? Mike, I don't know what you got on that one right there.
Man, brother, you stole the show. The only thing I can say is you don't get the opportunity to say, well, I'm a wobbly one, right? A lot of people like to wear that. You have to wear the rank. Don't let the rank wear you. Walk around with confidence, right? And as James said, you are that W2. Wear that rank and wear it proudly. No, you weren't just chosen out of a lottery. They assessed your packet, right? They said this person meets the set criteria to move forward and go through walks and become a W2 because your packet was stellar. So you have to be confident, you know, one, when you speak, but two, also confident in saying, when you don't know, I will find out. Right? Don't
Yeah.
don't speak misinformed. It
Mhm.
is absolutely okay to say, as the chief, I don't know, but I will get you the answer. And just make sure that you
Yeah.
stick to it. Outside
Yep.
of that, man, that builds your confidence, and then it builds the confidence of your team in you.
Yeah.
And yet, just Mike said it best. Like, you won't have the answers every time, but if you have the confidence that you'll get the right answer, that holds just as much weight. You know, if you're like, "Oh, chief, how's it supposed to be done?" If you're shrugging your shoulders, "I don't know," they're gonna take, "I'll get back to you." You know,
Yeah.
like, it's how you carry yourself with that aspect
Yeah.
and not knowing it. And the last one is consistency. You know, none of this matters if you're not consistent in all the areas. You know, there's no point of having uh, a daily communication or huddle touch point. There's no point of having a daily pool or a system of ensuring that your ESRs get printed on every Thursday and having a battle rhythm of a weekly maintenance meeting and walking with confidence if you're only going to do it once a week. That doesn't do
Mhm.
no good for you, doesn't do no good for the organization. So being consistent in what you do is definitely going to carry the weight of all these four other things that we talked about already. Man, every day's
Yeah.
game day. You got to bring your rain, snow, or shine. You got to bring the A game.
Yeah. Every
Just
day.
like Mike does it every day. I try to keep up with that guy.
Mike
Hey,
Thoreau,
I'm just
actually,
here.
he was our mentor, and he always tells us, like, especially me that makes CW2, is like, nobody knows how long you've been in as a CW2, because
No, Mike Thorough.
they promote for a while, so you gotta carry yourself, and if you don't know the answer, then you gotta let them know. You'll find out,
Follow
and
up. That's
you'll find the
important.
answer. Yeah.
Follow it. Yeah. Find out, follow up's important.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's huge. And like I said, if you I sent you those five things, kind of read them, marinate them, read them about it, and then look for them, you know, as you taking your 30-day assessment, you know, like Mike recommended and like, you know, we all recommend. Take that 30-day assessment and look at those five things. Okay, who's doing what? When is it getting done? And how's it getting done? And
Mhm.
we talked about 2 weeks ago, you know, the importance of roles and responsibilities. You know, start asking whose role and who does what. All right,
Mhm.
who's the one that pulls the ESR? Okay, who's the one that, how many mechanics do I have? All right, what's the knowledge gap of your mechanics and who knows how to do what certain jobs, and ensuring the operators know their responsibility when it comes to maintenance, because maintenance is not just going out there kicking tires, and maintenance is just not a mechanics problem, you know? Like, no,
Mhm.
maintenance is the commander's program, and we're upholding the commander's standard to ensure the commander's program works, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll leave you with this, Chief. Your job is never done at the end of the day, right? Now, I'm not telling you to take the work home. And you go home at the end of the day and you enjoy your family, but you always need to be available and accessible, right? And what I mean by that is you are the chief. Somebody's going to seek your knowledge, right?
Mhm.
I'm in Fort Eustis, Virginia, and I get phone calls from Japan at 5 in the morning. I will absolutely pick up that phone, right? Get out of bed and walk out of my room to answer that because I don't know what they need. And if they're calling me, that means that they value my input, right? And so always
Mhm.
make yourself accessible and available and know that your job is never done. That again, I'm going to preface that by saying, hey, you always have family, take care of that family, spend time with your family and enjoy that family time. But if somebody's seeking you out, absolutely make time for them, man. Other than that, hey, you don't fail until you stop. And if you stop, then you have failed. So
Thank
My
you.
man. You got any questions for us, man? What's on your mind, or what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm really, really thankful for you guys because right now I'm like so rushing. I'm so brand new to the seat, and it gives me a little ease to slow down, assess, and everything will be fine.
Yeah.
Really, really thankful for that.
Yeah. You don't have to fix everything today. Like,
Yeah.
no. But I encourage you to have a plan. Have your 30-day, 60-day, and 90-day assessment, and write down how you want it to be or where you want to be. And the reason
Mhm.
why you would want to do that, so you could track your progress and measure your progress. So for example, if your OR rate, your operational readiness percentage is, let's say, 60% right now. All right, in 60 days I want it at 90%. All right, that is something you could work towards, and you could see the progress that you're taking. Oh, and then you can always go to the command maintenance discipline program checklist. They got a few good nuggets in there. It hasn't been updated in a while, but that could help you build your systems to look at. And then don't shy away from PT. You will have the ability probably to show up and not show up. So make sure you take care of yourself on your own,
Yeah.
because how
Yeah.
you physically
Definitely.
carry yourself matters too. Ain't nothing
Yes.
worse when they call us out. Next thing you know, we can't perform. Like, hey, let's go on a
Yeah.
run, and you're over here wagon
Struggling.
wheeling around to pick up. You don't want a wagon wheel to pick up Chief. Nah,
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
don't do
Yeah.
that to us.
Never.
Don't do that to us.
Never.
Absolutely not. But yeah, definitely write down, measure your progress, measure where you want to be. Heck, it's 2025. Take a video of your motor pool where you're starting off day one. So that way, when you leave the seat in 2028, you're like, oh, look, now it's another 3-year video. Now you can make a cool montage and be like, look what I developed, or look what I didn't develop, make you
Yeah.
sit back, assess, and readjust. If you don't have good communication skills or verbal communication skills, now's your time to improve on that. Like, you will have to build relationships, and you will
Yes.
have to be able to articulate your words to explain your meaning or vision. I give an analogy and scenario. You can have the smartest person in the room, and you can have the best communicator in the room. But if the smartest person in the room can't tell me how to solve world hunger, but the best communicator in the room could at least tell me how to get to 80% how to solve world hunger, I'm going to at least take him because he could tell me how to get there when this guy
Mhm.
can't. So you have to keep that in mind. You have to be able to explain the big picture vision. And that's how you're going to move the formation as well, too, is by your words and how you communicate. You know how to do it, but the person who knows why they're doing it gets paid more. So you need to know why you're doing things. But
Thank you.
I don't know if you got anything for us, man. We'll let you get to it. I'll keep on talking. I do this all day. No, I'm playing.
I got my guys back, so
Yeah. Do your
see.
stuff. Stay,
Yeah.
stay, stay in contact. You have my point of contact. You got me on LinkedIn. You got me on Teams. I'll send you my phone number if you need it. You can call me. Where is it at? Great guy. I talk to him often too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
just
he's
text
really
him really
great. He's
good.
really
Yeah.
great. But I really appreciate it, Chief.
Link
Really,
yourself
really.
up. There's a new W1 around there too. His name is Herbert, Mr. Herbert, Eugene Herbert. He's part of the engineers. Give him a shout. He was my old NCO. Great
Okay.
dude. But good
Well,
stuff.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's nice meeting you. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
If you're new in this maintenance seat, remember this. You don't need every answer on day one, but you do need a plan. Take the first 30 days and assess your systems. Look at your battle rhythm. Pay attention to how you communicate. Carry yourself with confidence and be consistent even when it's inconvenient. One thing worth highlighting, this warrant officer reached out early, not because something was broken, but because he didn't want to start behind. That mindset matters. The best leaders don't wait until they're overwhelmed to ask for guidance. Maintenance isn't just about equipment, it's about people, standards, and trust. If this conversation helped you, drop a comment and let us know. And if you know someone who just been warrant officer, send this to him. We'll see you in the next one.